I'm here for my next reading update. I don't even remember what all I finished since the last time I updated you. Let me look. I think it was just Bad Moon Rising, which is the third book in the Pine Deep series. I believe I told you already about finishing, yes, Dead Man's Song. So I went ahead and read Bad Moon Rising. Because I don't know, because I hate myself. I don't know. I didn't like either of the first two. First book was all prep work. Second book was 60% rehashing the first book, and then 40% of getting the background of Pine Deep. And the very end of the second book, we finally figure out that we are dealing with both vampires and werewolves. Didn't really have any clue before that. So we've gone 2 books in a trilogy before we get the heart of the story. We knew it was something supernatural, we just didn't know what. On the third book, at least it was only like 30-40% rehashing the other 2 books. Norman wants to say hi. And then the rest of the book was the actual story of what is going on now. It still wasn't that great. This trilogy could have been a duology. It could have been a really long 1 book. But yeah, it could have been a duology. It didn't need to be as long as it was. Ghost Road Blues, the first one, was his debut, and you can see his improvement in his writing in the 3 books as they go along. But he still had issues with writing women. He still had just basic character development. It got better, but it still wasn't great by the end. And of course, by the time we got to the point where we were getting his version of the folklore of the vampires and the werewolves, I was basically just hate reading it to finish it and to say I read it. I don't know why. I do this to myself all the time, and I didn't care. I just didn't. I didn't care. So, yeah. I do believe that you could pick up the 3rd book in this series and only read that and be perfectly fine and not be confused at what was going on, since it takes the first chunk of the book to rehash the entire story. So if for some reason you're interested in reading it, I would say skip the first 2 and just pick up the 3rd one, read that. There was, it was, the first one, there was just human on human violence, and it wasn't good. The second one had human on human violence and then a tiny bit of supernatural. The 3rd one had a lot of supernatural violence. There's a lot of violence in these books, so if that's not your thing, stay away. And that is pretty much it. I finished that book. I am now on to something much better. Still reading Piranesi. Again, I don't have the dust jacket near me, and I'm not gonna get up and get it. I am now probably about halfway, a little more than halfway done. I'm still liking it. I still don't know what I can and cannot tell you, so I'm not really gonna say anything other than it's very well written. It's a very good story. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at that for now. And then I'm also reading This is How You Lose the Time War by Amal, El-Mohtar, and Max Gladstone. And I am over halfway done with that, and yeah, very quick read. I sat down one sitting and read that last night until I remembered I had to be at a curling club at 8 o'clock in the morning on daylight savings day. So I put it down and went to bed, and it's really good. Basically following 2 people who are on opposite sides of a war, who are conversing with each other and becoming, it started out as respect and it became friendship and on to falling in love. Really enjoying both of those. So much better than the Pine Deep trilogy, but it's done. I don't have to worry about it. There are no more. I also have to start reading Strange Dogs, which is the next short story in the Expanse series. the one between book 6 and 7, I think 6.5, I guess. And I'll be doing that shortly. There you go, that's my update for right now, and I will see you when I see you. Oh boy, I just did an entire update with the phone not recording. So let's go through this real quick. I finished 2 things since the last time I spoke to you. If the cat would get out of the way, this would be a lot easier. Okay. First, I finished This Is How You Lose the Time War. I believe I already, sorry, wind's blowing, making things fall over. I believe I already explained to you what this is. 2 people on opposite sides of a time war start communicating with each other via letters. First, it starts out as a relationship of respect, moves to friendship, moves to love, and basically it's the story of that relationship. Half of the story is their letters, the other half is what they were doing up to the point of getting those letters. So if you don't like epistolary stories, this one may not appeal to you as much, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was very well written. It's by Amal, El-Mohtar, and Max Gladstone. I would recommend this. It's only 200 pages, so it's a very quick read. My next thing that I finished was Strange Dogs, one of the novellas in the Expanse series, novella 6.5. That one was about life on one of the outer planets that is being colonized. We follow a young girl who is being introduced to the wildlife on her new planet and the interesting things that they can do. It basically covers a short time period and what happened to her and her brother. Of the novellas of the series, I have really only liked 3 of them. This is one of them. The other ones, other than the 3, can just they didn't need to be written. And then, what am I reading? I am still reading Piranesi, which the cat is sitting on, so I won't pick that up. Still enjoying it, still don't have anything to tell you about it, other than it is a good story and well written. I started Molka by Monica Kim. I have an e-arc of that, and since it's coming out shortly, I need to get that done. I'm only 10% in, so I haven't gotten into the nitty-gritty of the story. Basically, I have only met the characters, and it is a story about the issue of... It's a revenge story, so I will probably enjoy it, but it's concerning the issue that they have in Korea about men videotaping or recording women in their most intimate times without their knowledge. So far, so good, but like I said, only 10% in. And I started Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde. This is a reread. I've already read it twice. I know I like it, so it's just basically an audiobook that I listen to while I drive. But it is a world where people are segregated by the amount of color that they can see. The more color you can see, the higher in the ranks you are, and there are rules of what people can do and what they need to do, and it's basically a story of the underdogs, the grays who can see no color, fighting back against the chromatics who are treating them badly. And I am about to start Persepolis Rising, which is the 7th book in the Expanse series. We decided to not take a break and just go through and get this buddy read done since we are so close to the end. And after the last book, which wasn't that good, hopefully this one redeems the series. And that's it. That's my review again, but this time recorded, but I'll see you when I see you.